Good evening, this is Nerds to Human, and welcome to this, my 1000 subscriber special. And I'm delighted to be playing the Rome Total War Randomiser. Indeed, you can probably see from the map that things look just a little bit different. And yes, this is, as the title might suggest, a randomised set of units and factions. And yeah, I've randomised most things, to be honest. Not just the units that we can recruit and all of that nonsense, but also the stats. My peasants, for example. My peasants are absolutely beautiful. 16, 9, 17. They can hide anywhere. Excellent morale. They are animals that may run amok. Oh, that is a glorious description. And they are looking Armenian, which is ideal. They are my favourite faction, as you might well know. But today we'll be playing as Carthage instead. And we have Carthage starting in the Roman territory, as you might see here. So our plan today, is to take the Carthaginians back home to their true heartlands of Phoenicia over here in the east. And obviously you can see I've got the fog of war off at the moment. We'll put it back on when we get started. This is a bit of a strange feature. Yeah, we'll put it back on once we get started. But it gives us a little chance to get a lay of the land. There's a huge German Empire over here in the east. So yeah, when I send my fleets over, we can have potentially a few problems. They are currently at war with the Spanish over here in Alexandria, but they'll probably, you would think, overwhelm them. We'll see about that in time. There's all sorts of random diplomacy going on in the empire here. I believe I'm actually allied with both the Britons and the Scipiones to the north and the south, so that's quite nice. I might be able to keep my homeland whilst I go off gallivanting in the east. Yes, actually Scythia here are my friends too. Enemies would be the Julii over there in southern France, and of course, yeah, I couldn't possibly have Rome and Carthage in whichever way they're set out here not be at war. So we are actually at war with actual Carthage, which is kind of amusing. So yeah, that's kind of our plan today, but it's going to look a little bit different to normal. I'm probably going to do this as a one-off special, or at least to start off with. We will probably take another dip into this game at a later point, but I think for today we're just going to have a one-off silly special here. So yeah, as you can see, Druids over here in Capua. My other general, what is he? This chap over here is a marvellous unit of Warband. Okay, the generals do become consistent, I'm told. My brother's been playing this quite a bit and giving me a bit of the heads up. I'm going into this fairly blind. I've only really played a tiny bit just to see how it all works. But yeah, they do vary at the start. We're a naked fanatic, that's beautiful, who apparently can't hide. Oh no, sir, you cannot hide. He's a skilled bureaucrat and a solid merchant by his side. But well, even with the huge shield, he can't hide. He's a pretty good unit, all things considered. You'll probably find. Oh yes, yes, commenters who always complain that I am not playing on the large enough unit scale. I'm actually on the higher unit scale on this rare occasion, just in order to make the mod break or something like that. It seems fairly stable so far. Maybe it's had a little wibble at the start, but I've restarted the computer, it's all happy now. Anyway, as my other generals up in the north, we have ourselves some Warhounds, which do seem to come up surprisingly often. Maybe not the best general, but I do love myself a few little floofs in my army. And this chap over here is a chosen swordsman. Very nice indeed. The stats on this occasion seem to be pretty much what you'd expect from them. But yes, as you've seen with the peasants, they are not always quite what they seem. These aren't quite as powerful in the attack or defence as they normally would be. It's got the long-range missiles though, so I can still get to use a bit of my cataphract archer friends. Now let's have a look at what other units I have. Druids, they can go berserk. Oh, very nice. In Eagle, wow, this has all sorts of nonsense on it, although poor morale. That's unfortunate. They've got good stats, though. Yeah, I've noticed things tend to be poor morale or excellent morale, so we will see how all of this turns out in time. You might find, by the way, if you play this yourself, that you do need to use the list scroll at least at the start here, just to get a few of these lads out of the cities. I think it's just the way they've set it up to set everything off. So yeah, you can wander over there. Is that about it? That does seem to be just about all of them. Perfect. Amazon Chariots. How beautiful is that? And they seem to be pretty much, yeah, literally Amazon Chariots, which is a marvellous news indeed. General bodyguard, a skirmisher with I mean, pretty good defence. I mean, that attack doesn't really matter, to be honest. They can go berserk as well. All sorts of nonsense. Oh, very nice. They're not too shabby, are they? We got ourselves quite a few peltasts. Now, yes, of course, on the note of the recruitment here, we've already had a look at the peasants, but there are a few others here. Pontic Light Cav. They are very good indeed. And you might notice the stats do generally end up higher. That is normally the case. Warband, Warhounds, Scythian Horse Archers, very high defence on them. And if you go onto the building browser, it will show you the various units you can get at different stages. So this is consistent. It will let you know the information as it normally would. It's very nice, and just lets you look ahead to what else you can get. So Persian Cav without much defence, not too bad. Pontic Light Cav, Long Shield Cav. And yeah, as Carthage, one of the settings you can do is to make sure that, say, Scythia would have lots of cavalry units. We're quite a cavalry-heavy faction, so we're getting lots of cavalry units as well. So you can play with all sorts of settings. I will, of course, put a link in the description below. This was featured on Melkor's channel very recently, actually. And I think back in August or something, he did a guide on downloading the mod, so I'll put a link to that as well. I've really been looking forward to Randomiser for a long time, probably 15 years that I've been playing this game, so I am rather delighted to finally get the chance to play something like this. It is marvellously mad, and I know quite a few of you have suggested, seeing as I do a bit of modding on the channel, that we should probably, start using some mods. So here we are indeed starting to do a bit of that. Here's a good example of a unit which is suddenly not very good. Praetorian Cav are kind of terrible, but I've got a lot of berserk units. Not sure how the Cantabrian circles going to work. We will see about all of that. Okay, I think the rest we'll just discover as we go along, to be honest. I think it's really time to get going. I'm pretty certain the Samnites, the Samnites were very, very good. So if they're cheap, which is also somewhat randomised in places, we'll grab those. Why not? So, as I said, our plan is to head over to the east. I want to go grab Phoenicia, our old homeland, of course. Now, they're at war with the Spanish. Hopefully, that will cause them a few problems. They are allied to the Greeks. Are they at war with Egypt? I think they might be at war with Egypt. So there's all sorts of diplomatic chaos going on. We'll see how this all goes out. Now, obviously, they're all randomised too. Scythia are obviously just a one-city faction here, so they'll probably not be a very good ally. But some of these guys might be more or less powerful than we realise. So I probably need to get some scouting sorted out. And yeah, I probably need, unfortunately, to get rid of the fog of war. So I think we'll very much start getting on with the game proper at this point. We do have the beautiful Eastern music, though. This is standard. Biremes, fine. My brother, annoyingly, managed to get like an eagle on his bireme, which was obviously quite a nice way to win your naval affairs. Apparently, the rebel pirates are quite demonic, and there is a raging rebel mode, a bit like Raging Barbarians on Civ, but apparently slightly more mental. Apparently, it just destroys the AI, but there we are. Okay, our plan then. We need to build up our forces a bit to make sure we have the force to go east. We're not going to completely ignore all of our territory here. I would very much like to hold on to this. We've got allies either side. Hopefully they will stick. I mean, it's Rome, so they probably won't, but we'll see how all of that goes. So here we have Gaul, of course, who are our enemies, so we might need to bear that in mind. We're on very hard, so they'll probably be fairly aggressive. Grab ourselves port. Oh, we don't have a lot of starting money, actually, do we? No, we're quite short on that. Well, we'll get a couple ports, and that's pretty much all of it gone. Probably shouldn't have wasted my money on his stuff earlier. Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. We will try and organise what we're going to do with this. Who's a basic unit? We'll just leave the skirmishers behind. We'll try and sort out some of these public order issues. I wonder what the buildings look like. We have culture penalties and distance to capital and squalor, lots and lots of issues. But I don't, why do we have culture penalties? We probably shouldn't. Maybe things will change over on the end turn. I suspect that might be the case. Right, let's get our generals back into the cities. Let's see if we can settle these down a bit. I suspect things will be a bit more chilled after a turn when the game realises what is going on. But I think it might be a good idea to maybe just maybe just nab something off Gaul, a couple of these off them, whilst we organise our forces. Because, yeah, by the end of the episode here, we want to go and smash up the Germans in the east. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and unfortunately the culture penalty has not disappeared. What is our capital, by the way? Do we even technically have one? Suggester up in the north. We should probably change that. That will likely change our finances quite a lot. And this is a feature that a lot of people don't really realise how important the capital is, not just for public order, which is what most people already think about, but yeah, for your actual profits as well. 484 currently. So let's change this over to capital, make it Rome, and back on the finances. And that has made a, well, I say a small difference, 200. It's a 50% increase. So that's not too bad. Yeah, certainly something on the first turn as the rebels was a very important step. So we hopefully lowered the corruption a little bit, dealt with a bit of public order. These peltasts, by the way, notice are absolutely fantastic. Again, the Armenians are really our friends here. And to be honest, we said about the peasants before, they are pretty cheap on the upkeep. They're still only 100, so we get a couple peasants. And we should probably get a spy as well, actually, shouldn't we? Is Rome the only town I can get that? You know what, I can get the peasants everywhere. Oh, this is magnificent. I feel like there's not going to be a very deep pool of technology going on this game. It's just going to be carnage from the get-go. Okay, on this note then, we will probably just gather what forces we can. These Druids are a very weird unit. It has got an eagle though, so we probably will keep them around. We'll leave those skirmishes behind as I suggested last time. This rebel general can head over there. Capo is unhappy. I suspect we're going to have a bit of those problems. Rome, okay, you get on that boat. We're just going to gather some forces, head over to Sardinia. Persian Cav are okay. You know what? You can actually do it without the randomised units, and I probably generally will if I'm using this mod. But I think right now, just for the, yes, extreme silliness situation right now, I think I probably will just keep it on. So I'm just going to keep a few men over at that northern border, just in case I have any issues I need to reinforce. But over this side of the way, probably a good idea to send these peltasts down towards Rome. That's made them unhappy as well. We'll just solve all of that. Okay, we'll gather our forces and head over to Sardinia. Our economy looks pretty strong, all things considered. And what I'd like to do is go and take on these rebel Vetelis. Yes! Right, let's go take them out. I just really want to get myself into battle. A bit like most of the Javelin men, it seems, that they're actually pretty strong on attack. Defense ain't too bad, but they are poor morale, so we'll probably just smash them with cavalry. And of course, this is supposed to be a naked man, isn't it? Oh yes, you can't hide from him. That is how it goes. Let's head into Leonatos. Some early attacks from our Persian cavalry over there. Pretty much what you expect Persian cavalry to be. I think they could go berserk or run amok, something strange like that. Disappointingly, our general is not actually dressed like he should be. He's got clothes on. What an absolute letdown. Nonetheless, we're going to head in with our long shield cav, who I think they can run amok as well, because our units love to go just a little bit crazy. Hopefully this charge will do some lovely work. Are we going to get a nice charge in? Oh, we might not actually. Oh, we do have lances. Oh, we've gone mad. We've gone berserk into a bloodlust. Can't actually activate it, but we've gone into a bloodlust. Does that mean, by the way, that they're going to scare the enemy? They're not. They've just gone a little bit mental. Okay, this is interesting. No idea what effect this is going to have. It's going to rout them instantly. That's the effect it's going to have. Right, let's get the naked men forward. They're never going to make it into this battle, are they? No, they're not. And my long shield cav are not actually good enough for all of this bloodlust that they are stuck into currently. We should probably stop shooting ourselves as well. That would be a really good plan. There's officially the victory. Sadly, our naked men are not able to do very much here today. But good run out for a slightly odd unit. Not quite what I expected. Militaries never got to use their pretty high attack, sadly, for them. Might let the general just mop up a little bit of this. I don't really have much choice when it comes to the long shield cav, mind you. But there we are. Good old naked men finish off the battle. A few deadly screams in here. and a few men going flying. I do like the blue tint, by the way. I mean, they've picked themselves a beautiful pastel blue out for those shields. Can't really argue with our fashion sense. But with that, we should probably head back to the campaign map. Now, I have been given some boats at the start of the game here, but I can't help but notice I can't build them from my ports, which is just a little bit concerning. I can get to experience Amazon Chariots from the armourer though, so that's quite nice. How do I get boats? Can I even get boats? Are they anywhere on here? I suspect I can't get any boats, which, considering I'm planning to go back to Phoenicia, oh god, no. This is going to be terrible. A terrible plan. Okay, what the boats I've got are really, really precious. Okay, duly noted. I might need to get on with this. Fine. Let's figure out the key infrastructure. You know what, let's just send an army of peasants over there. That'll be absolutely fine. Maybe we should... Oh, we can't even send a spy ahead of time, can we? No, I'll tell you what, we'll get an assassin. We'll train up an assassin or two to make sure that we are getting on our way. Let's just get the economy built in the short term. Oh god, this is all going wrong before it's even started. What's our population, by the way? Because you can build more. 14,000. Yes, I mean, I forget everything. It's been randomised, Thomas. I'm really slow, in case you haven't noticed that. Okay, we'll just end our turn. We'll just have a very quick look at what we've got to face over here, because I didn't really scout that when we had the fog of war turned off, which was probably a stupid idea. But there we go. Okay, good news. There's just one general in here, and he is a chosen archer warband with a missile of 1. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, we'll I think we'll head into here then. The Skippy I have arrived with a diplomat. That's not a problem. Let's get into the city. You've 93% chance. There we are. We've lost our spy. Who else have we got here? Some peasants. That's worrying. We know they're good. They are less good at attack. We seem to have the superior peasants, actually, which is good to know. Good to know indeed. Right, well, at least we've got ourselves some forces. Are we in a good position to get these mercs? We have plenty of money. We'll grab them. They're not terrible. So why ever not, eh? That's a positive sign. So it turns out the ghouls are being quite aggressive. They've landed over here. It's Lugatorix. He's come to attack. Interesting. So he's got some onagers. Who knows what they're like? Those cav are decent, but we will see how they turn out. Let's just get ourselves some peasants very quickly. And yeah, we are a bit under-defended, aren't we? So we'll just rack up some peasants in all of our towns. Get those into the armies. Marvellous news. Yeah, probably a good idea to start thinking about how we're going to sort this out. Oh, someone's come of age. Someone's come of age. Just means to get to see what our generals really are. I'm guessing that's how it works anyway. So, wait, that was the wrong... Oh, no, it's fine. It's over here. I'm just an absolute fool. 195, that's a positive sign, isn't it? Right, you get out of the town. You show me what unit you are. You're Warhound. No! Oh, my general's going to be Warhounds. Okay, that's interesting. You might have to do this in our first generation because that's not the most helpful thing in the world. We're going to attack them very soon. That shouldn't be a problem. And elsewhere, we are just, pumping out the infrastructure. Our money is fantastic, by the way. So, some more Macedonian / Brutii boats coming this way. Unfortunately, can't do anything about trying to take down Dalmatia over here. I guess I'll just leave that to the Britons because, unfortunately, I seem to have no way of building boats, which is a little bit of an unforeseen problem. Fine, into Carolay, which I just read as Carlisle, so we'll rename it Carlisle once we've taken it. They have militia hoplites who are... Well, they have a phalanx still, they have a powerful charge, and they can't hide. Are they actually better than they normally were? I think they are, actually. 16 defence. Certainly about as powerful as attack as they normally are. Go away, Jimothy. Trying to record. Peasants, more peasants, and yet more peasants. And the general we've already established is an archer warband. We should be absolutely fine. Let's head into this village. Let's go smash it up. Well, they've sent everyone right to the front gate for this battle, which is intriguing. I have plenty of units to cause problems. Do my Amazon Chariots actually have missiles? They do indeed. So we'll just send those out. We have so many beautiful peltasts to come and cause problems here today. So I'm just going to send these guys out to cause all sorts of problems. Obviously, they're exceptional in battle as well. We will get... oh, they're getting shot down already. Oh, yes, of course, he's a chosen archer. That's... what do we don't want them to die. We can retrain them, actually, can't we? It's a good point, Thomas. Right, let's just charge forward our pelters. We're going to do a bit of skirmishing, damn it. We're going to play some Troy Total War. Right, start throwing in your javelins, chaps. They can't catch you at any point. Forgot about all of that. That's marvellous. I'm going to go send my cav over here. Are they phalanx? They're phalanx. Oh, yeah, they're militia hoplites. Of course they are, Thomas. We already established this when we decided to look at what the units were. So, these are incredibly powerful pelters, as we know. These do have very good defence, but with their backs turned, oh yeah, they're militia hoplites. They are definitely militia hoplites. They haven't routed yet, so actually, to be fair, they are faring slightly better. I don't think this battle's going to last very long, is it? No, it's not. Here come the peasants. Here come the Parthian peasants of Doom. I say of Doom. They're pretty good. They're not the best thing going. I've seen things with 35 defence quite regularly on this mod so far, but we are starting to pile through, so I think maybe get those Illyrians in. Chariots, yeah, we've got the general now, and that should pretty much be all of it. With that is the battle right there. 47% dead at the moment. Oh yeah, they've got more in the plaza. There we are, there's one more unit. Thought it seemed a bit odd that is only 47% there. And here comes the trap to close in on them. The Amazon Chariots have pulled them in. There is the victory. Oh, I didn't mean to press that. I meant to chop them down to the last, but that was a very efficient job, all things considered. They were just going to themselves stuck in the grind zone, to be honest, weren't they? A marvellous victory for us once more. And with that, our first conquest, of course, pretty much just setting us up more than anything else. We'll occupy. It seems fairly low in terms of its development. What have we got here? Let's just go for Baal, keep it all happy. Oh, yes, of course, they must have themselves a barracks. So these guys are actually surprisingly uninteresting, but 29 defence, you're pretty solid. Huge amount of numbers on you, so if you have good morale, you don't, but you have an eagle. The war bands are better than I have been noticing, actually. So that's worth bearing in mind. Even horse archers are very strong on the old defence, mostly on armour, apparently. But there we go. That is the way that it seems to be going right now. Okay, let's just have a quick poke over towards Carthage. 3. They've sent their whole force over here, haven't they? Indeed, they have. Okay. Well, what do we want to do then? Let's leave some auxilia to look after the town. But we're going to head straight over to Carthage, take them out. He's getting himself a barbarian turncoat. Britannia and Brutii have an alliance, which is probably good news because Britannia are already allied to me. That hopefully is a good sign of things to come. So they have themselves Pannonia's over here, Thomas. Yes, they have Noricum over here, which is good. So they're kind of plugging up this gap into Italy. And I have my allies over here who hopefully can deal with the Julii, at least for the time being. Doesn't seem to be a lot going on over here, to be honest. It looks absolutely a-okay. Fine, we're going to get that organised. We need to make sure this defence is ready. So let's send some naked men down towards Rome. We should probably make sure that, the city we need to win the game is here. I'm guessing from this that the victory conditions are still for having Rome, which we do have. So interesting, but I think we might have to make sure we defend this before we get any grand plans about going east. But we've got ourselves a very positive start here. So let's just flick through the turns, see what happens with this little issue over here. Maybe we don't need Carthage. Maybe they can go home. Nah, I reckon we want Carthage. We'll have Carthage too, thank you very much. We're going to wipe him out and we'll get moving over in that direction anyway. So, let's go grab our forces, immediately take them out and head straight back onto the boats, land at Carthage, and that is unwalled. It's just free to be taken. Here's Brennus, a couple peasants. Well, that seems simple enough. Let's go and smash them. Just went for the auto-resolve in the end, and to be honest, I'm kind of happy enough with that result, so we will occupy. Perhaps they will... Are we going to have culture penalties? We are. So, yeah, it's still doing it the way I would expect. But, yes. I don't really know why it's then going wrong in Rome, because it just seemed to be our buildings in the city. So quite why we're having issues, I'm not sure. Oh no, it's gone now. It has finally sorted itself out, so there are no more culture penalties. Good. So yeah, there are just the odd little things at the start of this that will sort themselves out in time. We seem to be able to bide our time over here with Lugatorix, which is good news. I can get all of my reinforcements over here. Do need to go deal with those rebels still, but all things considered, things are starting to settle down. Yes, we found some random war elephants over here who can form a Cantabrian circle, but they're poor morale. We can probably deal with those without too many issues. So let's go and throw some javelins in at those elephants. I reckon we'll be able to clear them out nice and easy. Into battle with the elephants then, and they do seem to be going down from our javelins, which is a good sign. They are generally fairly weak to javelins, and I think is an underappreciated fact, actually. It's definitely one of my battles on the Rebel campaign. In fact, one of the thumbnails is about 80,000 javelins hitting a pile of elephants. That was quite a fun one there. You, sir, rally the troops! There are a few peasants going berserk, which is a little bit amusing. Yeah, they are quite effective, the javelins, against the old elephants, so do make use of them. These guys are a fairly standard unit, though, still at 12 hit points, so they'll last for a little while yet. Might have to send the chariots to go and hack them over. Do beware, if they fall on you, they will splatter you. They got quite lucky. It's a good way of losing a general. I think that happened on the Rebel campaign as well. Time to finish this battle off, and a massive smash into our general there, who just got killed. That is rather unfortunate. Hasdrubal wasn't really supposed to die here, but there we are. He turns out to be a terrible, terrible leader. But I think the Amazon Chariots might just be able to force us into a victory at this point. Berserk charge from the Chariot women! Yeah, just the utter chaos that these few peasants have caused here. I've no idea. They've completely destroyed the Amazon Chariots as well. Now I understand why the auto result for this battle was at 50-50 or so, because apparently these peasants are absolutely impossible to kill. And we seem to have everyone breaking now. This is good. We're about to lose, aren't we? Well, to be expected with the randomizer, really. Sometimes you come across a unit which is suddenly amazingly brilliant. But we can just about finish this battle off. It's going to be a bit of a shame that we've lost everyone. Lost the general, but hey-ho. Battle's just about won, eventually. Okay. With Carthage taken, we can go grab Thapsus. We can just bring the Gauls under control, take care of Lugatorix, and then head east. So it turns out Lugatorix is a naked fanatic, just like we all suspected. And with that, we can also have a good look at his army with some hoplites who look pretty solid. Chosen Warlord, again, about what you'd expect. Barb, Cav, not too bizarre. Yeah, the units are largely, in this case, some very powerful Bedouin archers, largely what you might expect from them. Are those the Doom peasants from last time? They might be, you know. And the Onagers are pretty much standard, except for frightened enemy infantry, which is quite funny. We'll have to use cavalry, I suppose. Fine, they are about what you expect from this set of units, actually. So I reckon we've got a decent chance against them. Our army is starting to gather, big pile of peasants. What else would you expect? Oh yeah, those guys are mopping up some of those peasants. Good job, sir. Let's have a little poke at the Lugatorix with the old assassin. Why not? He's obviously failed. It was only a 4% chance. But hey-ho, why not give it a little go? Annoying Lugatorix has fled, and that means we need to hunt him down in the sea. So let's just slowly... Actually, let's just take one as a scout to start with. Ooh, is that them? That is them. It's just the one ship over there. Let's just try two, get a victory. They're not very good at all, are they? Their boats are definitely weaker than ours. Okay, victory for us. He's headed over there into the Macedonians. Are they at war, by the way? It would be rather marvellous if they were. No, sadly, they're not at war with Macedon. Okay, keep pushing at them. Sink them if at all possible. Let's send this boat over here. I know I need to keep these safe, but if I can sink them, that'd be a very good position to be in indeed. And over here we can just continue to build up our forces. Try and... what do I actually want over here? Just probably Yeah, let's get some stables, do some decent cavalry units, get some more javelin lads in. The javelin cav are pretty nice, keep boosting the economy. And you sir need someone to try and murder Gallic diplomat. Oh, that's a nice easy way to start your career. Marvellous stuff. Yeah, I have seen a few suggestions of let's go for assassin only, do a hitman version of Total War, which feel apt right now. I think Spiffing Brit, who obviously has destroyed the internet recently, Spiffing Brit did an assassin only on Medieval 2 at some point. So I'm afraid, my good sir, that's already been done, but it is certainly quite doable. The end of my Kalmar series was essentially just that anyway. But nonetheless, we're still going to use one or two of them. We can train a couple up before we head over to the German territory of Phoenicia. That would be ideal. I should point out, by the way, that whilst this is my... This is why we don't do this, Thomas. That isn't a good sign at all. Yeah, we need to get going before these rebel pirates start appearing everywhere, don't we? I forgot about all of that. Fine. That just reminds us we need to get going. Really, really need to get going. You get on top of that boat. We will sink them before we start moving. I am building up some of my other infrastructure, like cavalry stables there. We're getting a barracks over here, just to make sure we can get whatever units are best suited for us. These are pretty good horse archers, so let's get a few of those as well. We need a couple full stacks, I reckon, before we head off over in that direction. Can't retrain those, of course, so we'll just keep them safe in the docks for the time being. Bit annoying. Yes, this is a 1,000 subscriber special, but it is also actually 2 years. On the release of this, 2 years to the day since my first episode of the Rome Rebel campaign. So I think for the first half a year or so, the channel was just one weekly video for the Rebel campaign series, and then I started the Medieval 2, and I think Pokemon alongside it. I do like my little Pokemon series. If you like that, go and watch Pokemon. But anyway, obviously we've largely been playing the Total War ever since. And I think last year my 1 year subscribe special was about 100, 150, maybe like that. So it's been a good year. Got ourselves up to 1,000. Maybe we'll continue to grow a little bit more in the next year. Thank you for everyone who's joined me in this time, by the way. It's very nice to have you all along and joining me for slightly stupid things like this. Unfortunately, the rebels have that completely sunk us. Are they going to sink the ghouls as well? I hope they are. I'm just going to hide in my port for a little while. Oh, the rebels are supposed to be my friends. Okay, assassin, you come back over here. He's just gained himself some nice stats. Right, let's go and grab our armies. We need to get our forces soon before these pirates take over, because I have been well informed the pirates are absolutely insane and will murder everything and everyone you love. So we are going to get our armies developed, jump from port to port, which you can't really do from here, but we will try, and hopefully these pirates would go away. And the Scipione have stabbed me in the back. That's just what we wanted, wasn't it? Just perfect. Betrayed, transgression. I don't know what my transgression was, other than not immediately throwing myself with my own sword. But there we go. Fine, we'll have to deal with that as well. I'm guessing, by the way, the ghouls have been sunk over here somewhere, because we've certainly had that problem. So I'd like to think they have as well. This is all we've got now, by the way, to get over to the east. So maybe smashing through these guys for... Oh, I don't know. You know what? Scrap all this. Let's just smash up the Scipii. Let's head east. Let's just get this done, shall we? We want to have a clear victory in the field against the Scipione, shoving them back towards their own territory. Higher up the Samnites as we go. We'll probably just, get as many of them taken out in the short term. The rebels have blockaded us, because why wouldn't they? Not a lot we can really do to stop them, all things considered. We are just trying to get as much infrastructure as possible, but honestly, it's a little bit mad and high-paced here. Over in Armenian, with all of the generals in the world, are any of them actually useful units? I saw one of my generals before was Pontic Cav. Yeah, Pontic Light Cav does seem to be what we are getting at this point. Although, certainly for the generals, not for the family members, which is interesting. So yeah, these guys our remaining Pontic-like Cav, who are pretty darn good. So I'm going to send those over towards the army gathering at Rome. We are under siege from the pirates, who are demonic, of course. So how are we going to do this? I don't know. Probably is going to have to be conquer each city as we go and move on, but I wish this was Medieval 2 when I had some mercenaries to hire, but that just seems to be the way the cookie crumbles here today. If you're going to play Randomiser, my advice to you, if you pick a faction where you're going to do a migration campaign, perhaps consider something along the lines of, I don't know, making sure they have boats. Huge encounter with Gaulet Thapsis. Right, let's just get rid of these guys. They've been in my hair for long enough. Get out of the way, lads. Probably a good idea with this first army just to get ourselves charged in, actually, all things considered. Get the Peltas back, actually. Not the worst idea. Get yourselves straight into them. Peasants maybe just work about getting around those guys. That will be grand. Yeah, we need to try and deal with the reinforcements who are right behind me at the moment. So we'll just try and get ourselves around the flank. They've got one of those annoying units that's going slightly insane. Hopefully it won't go as mad as the last unit we took on. Get into the rear of them. Auxilia have cleared them out. Yeah, they're gone. They're completely gone already. That is absolutely glorious. Fine with that, General. You are like Cav. Just go and mop them up. That was a lot quicker than I envisaged. Okay, well, we'll just get rid of the peasants in this particular force and the Druids as well. Let's just get ourselves reorganised over here. We've got ourselves some very solid infantry with the Auxilia. Peasants, you can come in behind as extra men. Lovely stuff. Get the Druids in here as well. And then these two Peltas can come to the front. We're in a pretty good position then with those first guys being cleared off almost immediately. Pontic-like Cav, very, very nice unit for the General to be, especially as these are particularly strong versions of them. So we'll mop those guys up without too much fuss. We're getting back into the battle before long because I could really do with him not get himself slaughtered. My Scythian horse archers are pretty good, all things considered. More defensive, actually, than offensive, but they'll do a bit of pestering work nice and early on. Probably a good idea to start taking them back if possible. My general's gone on berserk, which isn't necessarily ideal. I didn't realise that was one of their stats. So yeah, it's just all a big bag of fun and tricks, isn't it, when we play on the Randomiser. Right, let's get their armies into here. This should be the last real affair before we launch our boat. So let's just try and finish off all of our lovely campaigns against the Gauls here. They are coming around the back. Oh, I didn't realise that. Small Scythian horse archers. Get into them, try and wrap them up. That should be a 50-50 battle. I imagine we'll lose because, of course, it's very hard, so we will just automatically lose a 50-50 unless we've got ourselves... They've gone heroic. As can't go heroic. Okay, this might not be quite the battle I thought it might be. So we will see about all of that. Right, peasants, you are going to guard us. We have lots of auxilia to keep us safe. I had a very sensible, organised position earlier. Now I don't. I have a very small amount of ammo, I'm noticing, by the way. Bit of a shame. Oh, well, you guys do all of that. If we can get some reinforcements in, that will be lovely. My general, if he could like to stop being absolutely numpty sometime soon, that would also be great. Right, they are starting to just charge forward at us now. They are chanting. You, sir, going to the... What's happened to you? Okay, the Fairies Guard are a demonic Celtic... I'm not sure. I guess 2,000 years ago, maybe this was still perfectly politically correct. Okay, we will go and deal with these chaps in time. Try and get around the back of them, please. You likewise get in the back. I don't even know what these units are, so God knows if any of them are any good. Druids, you get into battle as well. We're going to lose, I think, but to be honest, it seems to suggest we're doing well. I have no idea, frankly, because I have no idea what any of these units are. Get on top of them. Keep chanting. Keep chanting! That'll be perfect. God knows what's going on. Are these Fairies Guard any good? They don't look like they're too good, but it's quite easy to spot them, in fairness. Oh, this is very strange indeed. Where's my general? He's just heroically standing around. That's not particularly helpful, is it, sir? It's really, really not. Looks like we are largely winning the infantry battle over here. There goes their general. Enemy king is that's the enemy king. The enemy king over here. Ah, outrageous work from their leader here. Right, get yourself around the back, chaps. You should be able to finish them off. Yeah, it looks like we've got them here. Who knows? Who knows who's got the better units with this particular campaign? But it does look like we seem to have their number. Someone went down. That's the enemy king. I think that might be it, no matter what happens with the mopping up, because we're not going to mop them up, I can tell you that much. Who is still fighting? I have no idea who is still fighting. But my general, here comes the heroic berserker himself into battle, and he's stopped. Okay, he's apparently stopped. Their onagers are going berserk. Of course, they scare enemy infantry. I shouldn't forget that. We seem to be knocking them out anyway. Dacian onagers are clearly the MVP when it comes to all of this. But it looks like the job here against Gaul is done. Yep, their generals have all collapsed. We'll just end the battle there. And with those 3 generals dead, were there any more? There might have been a couple, but it's fine. A few of them at the start got away. With that, we should be able to walk in and finish all of this off. Marvellous news. Is that the end of them? Indeed, it is. We're defeated at sea, which isn't really a good sign, but we are still somewhat alive. Okay, where are we going? Into the deepest sea possible, I think. This is going to be no Odysseus-style Odyssey with lots of drop-offs on all sorts of saucy islands. No, we're going to stick to the deepest sea possible. We're going to praise Neptune and Poseidon, damn it, and we're going to somehow try and survive. I've seemed to have destroyed my economy, possibly. Oh god, no, the Julii are here. We've only got so long until we're going to have a few problems. Yeah, I think it's the generals, to be honest. We seem to be having a lot of generals around, causing us all sorts of issues. Carthage is also unhappy. Of course it is. It's Carthage. It's fine if we lose it. We're not the Gauls. We've killed the Gauls, so we'll send some infantry back. Anyway, most important thing now is we are heading ever eastward on the Odyssey. The boats seem to be trying to catch us. Leave us alone, please. Please. We'll keep on going. Yeah, you get in the city. They're still rioting. The Slayers to probably declare war on us as well. Carthage is miserable. I have no money, so not a lot I can do about that. We have ourselves Crete over here, which probably isn't worth a drop-off. Who do we have over there? The Spanish, who could actually be our friends. If I bought a diplomat, I didn't bring a diplomat, of course. This boat is literally chasing us across the whole of the sea. Rome is now also rioting, which is somewhat comical. I don't really have the money to deal with any of this anymore. Maybe I should go off smashing and pillaging somewhere. If I could get my army from over here to do something, I might, might have a chance. I'm going to send this army over to smash up Leptis Magna. Of course, I can't send them over here because I don't have any boats. Well, this is a very experienced, strong army. Might actually be able to take on this Scipii force here because we do seem to have the number on them, but perhaps it's best just to ignore all of those problems and continue heading ever eastward. Yeah, we'll continue doing that. You can scout ahead. Just hope and pray that no one comes along and pokes us in the face. Come on, keep on going. We can make it. When did this happen? Oh. Okay, we do have a few issues with the Julii, it should be said. They might come in with some terrible units. Yeah, these aren't even good peasants. So who knows? Might be able to beat them, although they do have good morale. So worth bearing that in mind. Dacia and the House of Julii. Oh, it does seem to be a bit of an alliance of everyone around us, actually. Come to think about it. Would you guys like peace? Would you like peace? You know, we both had some interesting parts of this war. No, they don't want peace. there will be no peace, as it turns out. Well, on the plus side, Germania are about to have a little bit of a surprise. When we come and land over here, we can see the Fabled Lands, which, yes, historically calling this part of the world Fabled Lands and claiming them as yours doesn't possibly have any bad repercussions, but we've made it. We've been chased down the entire way. It would be really nice if we can get these boats into a port. Ceylon doesn't seem to have a port, so I think the pirates are going to come kill us, actually. We're going to have to try and sort that bit out. But we're here. We're here in the Fabled Land, and there is an army of Germans who may or may not decide to attack us on this end turn. So we need to bear that in mind. Their alliance didn't last very long. That's probably a good thing. Let's see where they went. Straight in the town. God damn it. And we won against the Julii, back under siege. That's a good sign, though. If we can win with the auto-resolve, then that's what we want to see. Now, what do they have? Carolus over here. Now, alright, we're at the end game here. We're at the end game. I'd like to toggle the fog of war just to kind of see what's going on. Oh, the pirates are here. Pirates are here. Pirates are here. These are only boats we have all of eternity, so really, really need to get them out of there. Okay, the Germans are... Maybe, do we want our best army in one? Probably do, you know. So let's try and work out what our best force is, put that under siege. Maybe we'll go take Jerusalem while we're here. If we're going to go and, yeah, claim this land as our own, we might as well wrap up the whole thing in one go. First things first then, into Jerusalem. Harialphus the Bloody-Handed. Now that's an epithet I would like. An intelligent, angry drinker of a berserker. A civilized slave alongside him. But I think Jerusalem will fall. We will... let's just exterminate, because, you know, they've sort of forgotten that we are really... that we're really their descendants. So we'll just... we'll get rid of all of that and burn it to the ground. As for Sidon, this is our true homeland. We need to take back Phoenician soil, and what do we have standing in our way? A calm man. No enemy. He is no enemy of ours, but he is indeed a man who needs to fall. A very good archer unit indeed, it should be said. But I reckon, yeah, we should have his number when it comes to it. They have some onagers, which are very similar to the last ones we saw. Some very defensive peasants. Okay, Town Watch. Honestly, the Germans have a very nice bit of territory, but they have very little in terms of their troops. I reckon our peasants can swarm them brutally here today. Let's head in for our final little escapade. This is the end, ladies and gents. Straight into battle then, and we're going to send the peasants storming forward with all of the rams in the world. By that I mean about 6. Our general, by the way, it should be pointed out, is Lord Ramsay with his lovely floofs. If we get a chance to eat up their generals, we will do so. But I do think that's a quite inspirational sight, isn't it? Marvellous choice of unit for the faction leader. As I said, I do seem to find they come up quite a lot here on this randomizer. But hey-ho, I think this has been really good fun, actually. I'll definitely be playing more with the randomizer. And I have had plenty of people say that I should do more with mods. And to be honest, part of the reason I haven't is simply because I spend so much time trying to fiddle around with the game files myself that I never really get round to doing it. But, oh, they're sending people straight through the gate. Yeah, but this has been a really fun one. As I say, something that I've really been looking forward to for many, many years, realistically. So the fact that I get to play it here today is rather marvellous. Oh, they've shut... No, they've opened up the gates. Woohoo! Let's get in. We will just have to see how this goes, because we might well start routing straight away, because they're heroic and... Oh, there's... This is all very silly. We've gone heroic and running amok as well. It's all gone a little bit mad. Okay, we're going to start to... Oh, there's a ram gone. Interesting. Flaming arrows doing their work here today. They are running amok in the wrong direction. That's not the best news in the world. Maybe I should get all my archers forward and we'll see what damage they can do. Yes, I quite like this mod. We'll be seeing more in the future, I think. Do let me know which mods you would like to see, because I know that there are quite a few out there that have been suggested in the past, the particularly popular ones. Maybe we'll do a poll for it actually, so do suggest some in the comments below, and we'll see if we can come up with a consensus on what to look forward to in the future. But this one's certainly been good value. I can imagine quite a lot of fiddling around on this particular randomizer. You don't have to change around all the unit stats like I have here. In fact, once we're done with this, I will go and show you the little options screen, because you do have a few choices. You can see the general lay of the land and the map before you get going, so you have an idea if it's a sort of campaign you want to do. Anyway, we're just running amok all over the place. Maybe we should just send people in at this point, because this is very, very chaotic indeed. Are we running amok like elephants and thus going to kill our own men? We're not killing our own men right now. There are so many strange questions that come about as a result of this particular mod. Right, let's just send in the general. Let's just start dealing with this. Archers, start laying fire as much as possible. You chaps head into their flanks. We have so many more men that we really need to be utilising right now. Send in the general. Are you the light cav? You are Pontic light cav. Indeed. Yeah, so yeah, put in the comments below any particular mod you'd like to see, and we'll get together a sort of a list and maybe poll it at some point. Yes, obviously, Spectrum Brit has broken the internet with polls recently. Sadly, I've not been able to use polls until literally the last couple of weeks. So just at the exact moment where everyone's gone mental with polls, I've only just been able to, because it is reduced to you're only allowed to use it if you've got 1,000 subscribers. So that is, of course, where I've got to in the last week or two. I've actually been very unwell the last couple of weeks. I haven't done any videos in about 2 or 3 weeks now. It's very nice to finally be back making a video here or there, which is lovely. Not 100%, you might be able to tell my voice, I don't know. It looks like the peasants are doing their job, by the way, apart from the ones who were just running around having a bit of a mad time. They are animals that can run amok, as we know. That's what plebs are like. Do we actually have control of this gate, or are they just opening it for us? I really don't know, to be honest. Who knows what's going on here? It's all just a little bit insane. My general's dogs are, I think, into the city now. They've run through this gate. They are... Yeah, I think they still have control of the gate. So my dogs are doing some work, but I'm not sure they're going to do a huge amount, actually. Maybe we get the ram. Grab the ram. Right, we've got all of these peasants. All of you. Do that. I don't think we can get to the gate now because the dogs are in the way, which is a little bit mad. Come on! I can make it, please. Oh, the poor floofs. They can't make it in. Maybe we'll manage to... Come on, someone grab the ram. They don't seem to understand how to get around, do they? No, they don't. They bent down a lot of my rams, actually. I'm quite sad about how many of them they managed to destroy here. They are fighting us quite nicely at this gate. One thing I have noticed by playing this, the colours are lovely. It's like the Rebels. You get a lovely mix of units, although, of course, the Rebels were all in grey. But I have looked at, by the way, the Rebels for this particular mod, and because the Rebels always get a mix of units, you actually end up with such a staggering amount of units on your roster. It is unbelievable. I might have a slightly closer look. I'm not sure quite how the recruiting works with them, and if it's as weird with the cultures as it is on the main game. I suspect it probably is. I kind of like how we've ended up doing this with peasants. It's just an accident, really, of the fact that that the peasants turned out to be quite good, cheap and easily accessible. But there we go. The general's dogs are actually taking on their general at this point. He might not manage to do it, sadly, but there we go. They've given it a good try, like many of our campaigns. Let's get all of these peasants in here. Let's just start to really turn the screw. In with the cataphract archers. They're the first to the plaza. Oh, I do love them. They are the best of all units. Why they're purple, I'm not sure, because they are, of course, Armenian units and not Parthian. They seem to be going a little bit random on here. Anyway, is a randomizer again, so you probably shouldn't be questioning it too much. All things considered, though, I do really like this mod. As I said, I reckon, though, if I were to play a bit more of it, I'd probably enjoy the random units, but maybe without the random stats, because it's a little bit more of a controlled experience. It's a bit more like the Rebels, really, where you got to use all the different kind of units, kind of test how you could adapt to all those different army combinations. And I think that's one of the things I really enjoyed about the Rebels, and probably one of the things that will be really enjoyable about this here mod. We do seem to be finally cutting down the last few men on the parser. Wow, it's really not happy at that speed. Probably a little bit too much going on, and it is a mod, so it's possibly got the odd bit of sketchiness here or there. I must say it's been very stable for me. I know a lot of people have issues with Rome Total War stability, but certainly once I had a little bit of a fiddle when reset the computer at the start. Yeah, he's fleeing. So yeah, once I had a little restart of the computer, it was fine to run with OBS and everything else. So yeah, it's looking like a pretty stable mod, all things considered. So looking grand. The victory seems to be, as at this point, the timer is ticking down, and with that, those of us who are left here are just going to claim Phoenicia, a homeland for ourselves. Well, with that then, we have ourselves a beautiful homeland with a slightly strange looking Dead Sea over here. We of course do have ourselves Carthage and Rome as well, and really, if you're playing as Carthage, isn't that the true victory condition right there? Egypt definitely seem to be doing very well. You can see obviously I've taken off the fog of war just to have a nose around at the end of the game here. I don't know if the rebels had all this at the start, but they certainly seem to have eaten up a little bit of territory, and the Germans definitely destroyed the Spanish. So if we did carry on, we'd probably have a few issues with the Germans going forward. But perhaps that's something for another day. But of course we did it without any elephants whatsoever. We did it with pretty much just a big pile of peasants. I guess it's a bit of a roll with the dice, isn't it, when it comes to all that. But this, for now, is the end of this here. Do let me know if you want to see any other mods in the future. Any suggestions of that would be grand. We might create a poll for all of that nonsense. Wednesday is the Holy Roman Empire Islamic Campaign Grand Finale. We will on Friday have ourselves another mod video. I won't give too much away about that, but I have had one or two people ask for it, so there would be one or two of you who might be very pleased to see that particular video. And next week we'll start a brand new series based on the poll results. So if you haven't voted in the poll just yet, then we will probably call that on... I'll tell you what, we'll call that on Wednesday. We'll call that on Wednesday when the Holy Roman Empire finale comes out. So get your votes in by Wednesday. I think at the moment Medieval 2 is winning. I do have some interesting ideas for each of the options there, so we will see how it goes. I think second place is pretty much a four-way tie. It's looking pretty close on the poll at this moment. So, but for now, I will just leave you with we'll just go back to the options. I'll show you the options, how you can set this up. I'll put a little link in the description below to Melkor's little guide video on this. This here is the option list then for the mod, and in case you're interested, these are the options that I chose for this particular game. You've got the seed there if you want to try and play this map yourself. It is quite useful in terms of just seeing the map before you decide to play, and I just found this very easy to use, so go and enjoy it yourself. Thank you very, very much for joining me on this here 1,000 subscriber special. It's actually a few weeks since I got to 1,000, but as I say, this kind of fitted in with the 2-year anniversary as well. So thank you to everyone who has watched my videos, subscribed to my videos, commented, got involved. I've been absolutely loving this community, and it's just been a pleasure for it to grow. There is, of course, the polls as well now, so it'd be great to hear more of your opinions on what content you'd like to see going forward. But for now, I will leave you. I'm Thomas, this is Untitled Chapter, and this has been our 1,000 subscriber special, the Rome Total War Randomiser. Thank you, and bye-bye. No! Not again! How did you lose to the archers? Anyone who's already got children, they've just been killed. Filthy pilchards, the lot of you. Oh, Steve! You were the best of all the Steves. Rum pum pa 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 pa.